Actually didn't attend the entire course, but we're super busy with work, but we're allowed to kind of work on projects and show up, and it was amazing. And we tried to explore multi-signature stuff. So our project was called Multi-Bounty, and we tried to inject trust into a web platform that you might not otherwise trust by using multi-signature transactions. So we wanted to make the platform as trustworthy as possible, and to do that we started trying to dig into multisig, and the first thing we tried was Block.io. So I did want to shout out to Atif. It's not just that it's the first thing that we tried, it's actually that it is really easy. And then we found Bitcore Wallet Service a little bit late to get that implemented, but we're super excited about that for a follow-on because you really don't need as much of a platform when you have the kind of functionality in client wallets that can broker some of the partially signed transactions and proposals directly peer-to-peer. And there's probably a lot to do there, but we're just kind of telling you our experience here. And it's probably possible to have with something like Copay and maybe spending a little bit of extra Bitcoin to get proposals onto the blockchain. It's probably possible to have it totally platform free, and you don't have to even trust Scribble. So the thing that we looked at was, our first idea was try to get test-driven development incorporated with bounties, so that we would have basically you could put a bounty to complete code to fix a failing test. So that was interesting, but we wanted to try to reduce the platform as much as possible again and make it as little trust in the platform as we could. And we even looked at just using GitHub as the communications mechanism for everything, and you just have your normal Git flow. But the thing that we found again and again, looking at alternative methods of doing that, is that there is no trust in these platforms. The platforms are not good sidechains. Everything in GitHub is mutable. So that was a real problem for us, to get around mentally. And so that was our final realization. We ended up with a pretty simple site that we wrote in Meteor and spent 90% of our time learning Meteor, but the rest was learning Block.io. Where's the site? And you can check out our code on Multi-Bounty. You can basically do really simple, we spent all of our time on this UI too, actually, I think. Probably about 8 of the 10 weeks on the UI. The rest was Block.io and then learning about multisig. So, you can basically submit things and approve submissions if you're an author, and sign in with GitHub, and it's all up there. So if you're interested in checking it out, it's just look for Multi-Bounty on GitHub.
Is it linked to GitHub issues and pull requests, or?
No, because issues are, what's that?
What is the question?
Is this site linked to issues and pull requests? So what you would want to do, if you wanted to use GitHub sort of as a trusted party in this, is you would have immutable issues that presumably even the GitHub guys couldn't change, so that you could just submit an issue that says bounty 3,200 Satoshis embedded in as a micro format, which is what we wanted to do. But anybody can change the issues. They're totally mutable by anybody who's part of the project. And same thing, even with all the stuff in Git, on GitHub, you can change everything. So not only do you have to trust GitHub, you have to trust the other members of the project with your money in this case. So it didn't seem like GitHub was the right sidechain. And that's this novel thing about the blockchain, is that it really is hard to find a trustable, thing out there that is immutable, or that you trust is immutable. So that was kind of. Anybody else? Thanks, guys.